Tacamo TV. Tacamo TV.
Dun-dun-dun.
Good evening and welcome to Tacamo Television. I'm your host, William Changer. Now please tell me why I'm being kept here.
Well, the corporate board of directors of Tacamo Television felt that you needed some observation following the recent course of events.
Corporate board? What events? What do you mean?
Do you remember what happened to you this past week, Mr. Changer?
No. Tell me, what happened?
Well, we'll figure that out together if we can. First, I'd like to start asking you a few questions about your childhood.
What about my childhood?
I'd like to know what it was like when you were growing up.
Well, my friends called me Small Change. They used to call me Small instead of Bill. And I had this friend, Jerry, and
Tell me about you.
we had this fantasy game we called Adventures in Hell. And you met these demons and Satan's secretary.
Our story so far. Jerry, Stephanie, and Vince are on the loose in hell. Jerry loves Stephanie, and they're both alive. Vince, he's dead, but he's helping them out anyhow. And Satan, he loves Stephanie as well, and he's pretty pissed off about this whole Jerry thing. Now Jerry, he's trying to find his way out of hell before his body dies on earth, and he winds up damned forever. Satan, he's trying to make sure Jerry doesn't find his way out of hell, and he wants to punish him up real bad just as soon as he captures him. Which brings us here. And everyone else in hell, we're all looking for the traitors. Which means I better be getting overtime for this. I'll tell you. Have you found anything yet?
Oh, just a couple of dolls in this trash here. What do you think they're here for?
I don't know.
Think it must be something symbolic?
No.
Well, just in case it is, I better beat you with it.
Well, hey, have you tried to look behind the dumpster?
Vince, what are these things? Bum clowns, kid. These are some of the nastiest, most bitter demons in hell.
So you guys thought you'd run away and join the circus, did you, huh?
What? No. It's no use talking to them, Jerry. They don't really hear you. Well, what are we gonna do? Why are you always asking me? What do you think I am, an idea machine?
We all had dreams of the big top, kid. Fame, fortune, sawdust.
Yeah.
Now you guys think it's your turn, huh? Well, we never got ours!
Yeah, I could juggle. I could tumble. I could afford gallons of seltzer down my pants. But in the end, it didn't matter.
Yeah. I appreciate your offer, guys, but truthfully, we have no interest in joining the circus.
Put on the nose!
Yeah, the nose!
Put on the nose! If you're gonna be a clown, you gotta wear the nose!
No! You get a grip!
Acid! They put acid in the wig!
Yeah. The clown bumps, huh? Yeah, well, that ought to do it. All right, I'll be right there. What? What business is of yours? She'll toe the line when I get her here. I don't know why she went with him anyway. All right, enough. I command you to be your other Rivera's left butt cheek. Boy, am I in a bad mood today.
We all wanted to be clowns, kid. But when we got there, the positions were all filled. You know what it's like to be a clown out on the streets? Asking for change, food, shelter, the night. They just laugh in your face. They'll see. Put on the nose.
Stephanie! Look out!
2 down. 1 more to go. Here's your makeup, kid. You can't be a clown without makeup.
Yeah, makeup, yeah! Well, that's it, I guess. I'm just gonna have to use my super ninja kung fu karate! Well, kid, how'd you do that? Beats me.
No time for exposition. They're gonna wake up in a second. The same trick will never work twice. Clowns learn fast. Come on, follow me. Quick, in here.
Where are we? I've never even seen this place.
We're almost to Limbo. This is gonna be the stupidest place in hell.
Hey guys, glad you could drop in. You want to buy a crystal?
Hello, I'm Mr. Fact with today's fact. On August 8th, 1947, in Scranton, Pennsylvania, Newt Minow, a conductor on the old Penn Central Railroad, invented the phrase, "Have a nice day." And that's a fact.
mention names or anything about the big dude that lives in the big building, or works in the big building, excuse me, you know, and, you know, who happens also to be into real estate heavily himself. But, you know, but my current landlord, he was a nice enough guy, he's the third one I've had.
Don't mention any names.
I won't mention any names. I've been wise to that, you know, problem before of like, you know, getting yourself in trouble, saying things that you should not say in certain situations. You know, I'm getting along with the guy. He's all right. But like I say, you know, I've been living here a long time, and he's the third landlord I've had. So of course I'm getting a little territorial. And it's interesting to note that like all three landlords, well, I'm batting like 666 with landlords in terms of
Don't
them
even
being
mention his company's name.
66. Isn't that interesting? What an average. You know, that it's devilish, gosh, you know, here on Halloween it seems appropriate. You know, that's what I'm hitting. And, well, the point is that, you know, 2 out of 3 of the landlords I had were patrons of the arts. You know, one of them, I think he might still own a gallery. And the other one, he was a nice guy, and he finally just, he was the best one, the first one. He had a gallery downstairs below the place. And it's just kind of sad now that the whole place is going to turn into a gallery on the inside for yuppies who don't have any idea what the hell is real art.
Hi, well, I guess you're wondering who I am. Well, I'm the ex-Mrs. William Changer. And I just wanted to tell you about how I feel about this place here and some of my experiences in it, which have all been happy and very exciting. I met my ex-husband here for the first time. The first time I met him, it was really nice. We talked for hours. And the second time I met him here, it was really nice too. We had a couple of glasses of wine. He had a very nice gourmet catered meal for us, which was really nice. I can't remember what we had, but I do remember we had a little waiter and a waitress and everything, and he had it all brought in here just for us. And it was just really, really nice, and it was just really sweet. And Bill's like that, you know, he's a really sweet guy. He did the same thing when we were getting divorced, you know, and when he told me about it, you know, I had a really nice catered dinner here and everything, sent me flowers and work. It was really nice. He's such a thoughtful man. I mean, even going through the divorce that we went through, he was just so nice and sweet about it. He's just a nice, sweet man.
So now it's like, I guess this is where it all just ends up. And I don't really know, how to put it together in a bunch of words that would fit this particular format. But I remember being outside here and playing the guitar with Tom out here, and I had a great time doing that. And I remember just talking to some people out on the balcony and interacting with the city and seeing all the kinds of people that go by, and just wondering if maybe this wasn't it. If it was like, if you get to see a little microcosm of the way the entire city is structured, or the way the entire reality amongst some certain individuals is maintained, then I guess you get a glimpse of how the civilization is ordered, or how perhaps God affects everyone, if there is a God or such a thing. But what I'm trying to say is that here, I mean, this is a place that has a particular attachment, and there's a certain amount of motivation that comes to a particular place, and when you lose it, you lose that attachment. And it's like you get to play around with so many things in your life, so many certain elements that enter your life, people that enter your life, and places, and if you don't take advantage of them, then where do they go?
Yeah, so we've been lucky. Gloria, she arrived right after I first moved in on a Friday happy hour. That was great. And I had boarded up the windows. And the tornado, that touched down right next door, tore the roof off the building, and dumped it over there across the street. Actually broke my landlord at the time's window. He was working over there. He was a great guy. You know, I spent most of my time clung to the pillar in here, and when I had enough guts to go out on the fire escape, you know, the street light was doing that, and you know, the big tuba thing on the roof across the building was whipping around, and I yelled, "It was a twister!" to some guy that was walking up the street, and he said, I know, and he was looking out for flying glass and whatnot, and we made it onto the front page of the paper, the front door of the place did, that time. That was cool. And then, you know, as life went on, we got on to creating our own sort of natural disasters. Well, one of my roommates did anyway, by just kind of never taking care of the place while I was away for a while. But, you know, I'm glad she was here. I still got it, even though I'm losing it now. But it's surprising that the whole place just didn't collapse because it got so damn soggy while she was living here.
I used to
to live here a few years ago, and on Halloween we threw a big party, had a keg, and 100 pumpkins. And when everyone showed up, they were presented with a pumpkin and a knife. And looking back at it, I realized how insane it was to be handing a bunch of drunkards sharp, big knives. But coming out of it, there were some beautiful designs that came out of it, innovative jack-o'-lanterns that unfortunately, by the end of the evening, all wound up in the middle of Weybosset Street. And the next morning, leaving, there was about an inch of film covering the whole block.
Like many who have come to spend some time at the loft, you end up in this room eventually. And this room is a very small, simple space, but within is a very special piece of equipment. Now, this does look like an ordinary toilet, but there's something very special about this one. When you're finished, you don't have that simple convenience that most of us come to love and adore about this simple piece of furniture. Rather, with this, you have to learn the intricate workings of the inside of a toilet. I've never seen anything like it before and learned quite a bit about how toilets flush. In the very bottom of this toilet is a rubber gasket that has to be lifted for the water to be released. You put your arm down and pull.
I used to have this great cat, Emily. He was the coolest cat. He was the oldest cat, the most wretched cat I'd ever seen. I mean, he had every disease you could imagine. The guy, he still made it through most things. So anyway, Mark and I decided to paint this kitchen here, and we decided to streamline it because we've been watching this PBS special on modernism, and we thought that would be a great idea to streamline the kitchen. So once we got started, we realized that the paint was the exact same color as the paint here, so we ended up painting the whole kitchen with this little tiny 2-inch paintbrush, and it took us an hour, or even 2, I don't remember. And I was putting the last stroke of paint right here, right this very spot, and just as I was putting it down, Emily jumps in slow motion over my shoulder and lands right here where I was standing. And he looked up at me like, "Oh my God, I've done something wrong. What am I going to do now?" And we grab him, we're like, "Oh, Emily, you stupid cat, what are we going to do now?" And we figured we had to clean his paws off because it was enamel paint, and he'd probably lick it and die from that after all the stuff he's gone through. So we cleaned his paws off, and then we realized, well, now he's got turpentine all over, and we'll probably die from that. So we squished this poor little cat into the sink that was like this big, and soap him down, and he's like this wet little scrawny thing. And we're laughing hysterically because it was just so ridiculous that we were washing this cat in this tiny sink. But he made it through, and his paw print lasts here longer than we will. I mean, Emily, he was the biggest trooper in the fight.
Nance should be mentioned. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't be here. And a lot of people might know her as the Lizard Woman. She was great. She's out west now. And the lizards are with her. She sprayed them with a spray bottle all the way across last summer, drove them out there. And they're still alive. And the fish are doing all right. Michael, who you met, and who I just met, helped bring them over to Wayne's, who's putting them up for a while. And they're doing all right, too. And so life goes on. We're all moving around. And I don't mind splitting. It's time to go, actually. And but there was one death, unfortunately, and that was Emily, who was, interestingly enough, what I always considered penance for me for having kicked a bagman out of here one time, who I found out later, walking home from the racetrack one rainy night on 146, got run over by a car and spent a few warm weeks paralyzed from the neck down in the hospital before he